We come together today on the first of these two successive Sundays that follow the end of our Easter season with Pentecost last Sunday. And these two Sundays have two very special feasts, which are meant to highlight two of the most important realities of our faith. This Sunday's solemnity of the Most Holy Trinity, reflecting upon the very identity of God. And the next Sunday's solemnity of the Most Holy Body and Blood of Christ, as we reflect upon the incomparable gift of the Son of God who is present to us here in this Holy Eucharist. How can we begin a reflection on the Most Blessed Trinity, this essence and identity of God Himself? How can we hope to gain even an understanding or a glimpse of this first and greatest mystery of our faith? As I was reflecting upon this, I was drawn to a famous quote from St. Augustine, who once wrote, "I do not seek to understand so that I will believe. I believe so that I may come to a deeper understanding." I think this quote captures the essence of what faith is, that it requires you and me to accept what we sometimes may not understand or even agree, so that in that acceptance, that cloud that veils our understanding and view of things can be lifted. For you and I can't understand the Most Blessed Trinity, a union of three persons, infinite and eternal, but one God. But we do believe it. We believe it with every fiber of our being. This first reality of who God is, this communion of love. And it is then in our belief that we can come to an understanding of all things. The Catechism of the Catholic Church puts it this way: the mystery of the Trinity in itself is inaccessible to the human mind and is the object of faith only. Again, we cannot know who God is in His essence, but we do have access to God's identity in His work, how He has chosen to reveal Himself to us. And then hopefully we can see the obvious, that when we encounter this ultimate mystery of God, as we do here, we need to approach Him with indescribable reverence and awe and wonder. Again, we come here in this Holy Eucharist, maybe this very familiar thing to us, and we can so easily forget the transcendent majesty that the infinite God is here. It's an unavoidable tendency of our human nature. It's always been that way. Moses is addressing that issue to the people in our first reading. He wants to stress to them the greatness of God, the unique blessing given to them, His chosen people. He reminds them how God delivered them from the bondage of slavery in Egypt. And now He is about to give them His commandments to guide them into the fullness of happiness, so that they and their children will always prosper. God is perfect and infinite love, and His desire is to share that love with us. Moses wants the chosen people to always remember this, and we need to do the same. In our second reading, St. Paul speaks of this greater work that Christ has accomplished in us. For we are not joined to God only through the law and prophets, as wonderful as that union is, but we are actually joined to Him. In our baptism, you and I receive the Spirit of adoption. We become children of God, members of His mystical body that is the church. In the power of the Holy Spirit, all of us become brothers and sisters in the family of God. And our difficulties arise, I would suggest, when we forget this. We allow the secular mindset the ways of the world, the thinking of the world, to creep in and corrupt our minds and our hearts. We fail to strive to maintain that unity of love that is imprinted on us in baptism, to safeguard this treasure of faith that we have received. We harbor resentment or fear or anger instead of allowing the power of God's love to overwhelm us. In our gospel, we hear St. Matthew's account of the ascension, this profound event that shows the Blessed Trinity. Christ, the eternal Son of the Father, having accomplished the Father's plan, now returns to him so that the Holy Spirit may come upon the church to continue his mission to proclaim the gospel, to baptize all in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. And when we come here to this Eucharist, we experience and proclaim that Trinitarian reality. Again, the Catechism says it this way, that at every Mass, we encounter the very action of the Most Holy Trinity. That this sacred liturgy is not our work, but it is God's work, where the Father is present. He who is the source of all is acknowledged and adored. Where Christ, his Son, acts through this sacrament that he has instituted to communicate his grace to us so that we might join in his perfect adoration of the Father. And where the Holy Spirit acts to make Christ present here in this Holy Eucharist, to unite all of us then in his life and his love. I do not seek to understand so that I will believe. I believe so that I may come to a deeper understanding. May each of us be filled more and more each day with this gift of faith. May we be filled with that gift of humility that all of us need in our journeys of faith. Grateful to God for all that he has given to us. Believing in him and the teachings of his church, not in our own musings and insights, so that one day and for all of eternity, we will see him as he is, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, when the veil of this world will be lifted and we will realize our communion with him forever in the indescribable glory of heaven.